Our main match is at Highbury, where Arsenal take on Nottingham Forest, who arrived with a 100% record. Our guests on the programme today are John Lyall, the manager of West Ham United, who joins us here in the studio. But first we go to Highbury, where a 40,000 crowd had come to see Arsenal face Nottingham Forest, many drawn, no doubt, by the two men who've guided Forest to a brilliant start this season. And here is the combination then that's had the First Division talking. Brian Clough and Peter Taylor bringing their side to London for the first time this season. 4 wins in 4 games. And the man who scored in every one of them, Peter With, their strongly built striker who scored twice against West Ham in midweek. But if Pat Jennings has any say in it, there won't be a repeat of that today, though it's still very strange seeing Pat as an Arsenal player after all those brilliant years at Tottenham. And here's Graham Rix, a Yorkshire lad who's forced his way into the reckoning now for Arsenal, who scored on his first appearance at the tail end of last season against Leicester. So young Rix lines up in an unchanged Arsenal side, the one that knocked Manchester United out of the League Cup on Tuesday night when Malcolm McDonald scored twice. And of course, as well as Pat Jennings, there's also former Tottenham defender Willie Young at number 6. As for Nottingham Forest, like Arsenal, they're unchanged. Indeed, Brian Clough has chosen the same 11 players for all 4 games this season. Apart from With, watch out for the pace and skill of Tony Woodcock up front and the sturdy defence of Kenny Burns, Forest's big buy in the summer from Birmingham City, a defence that has conceded only 1 goal this season. Nelson with the throw. Brady. Nelson again, chipped in there towards MacDonald. There's his header! Well, it's Stapleton who's running away. It was Stapleton and MacDonald who went up together. But there's not a doubt in anybody's mind that it was a good goal for Arsenal that puts them 1-0 into the lead. With just over 3 minutes gone, John Stapleton playing his first game at Highbury, beaten, and now we shall see what Forest are made of. The long cross came slanting in, MacDonald and Stapleton went up together, and it floated beyond the Forest keeper into the back of the net. And MacDonald after this one. Oh, and Middleton made a mess of that. Rix back to Brady. Well, they all looked and they all waited, and in the end it was wide by Trevor Ross. Certainly there's been no sign of Nottingham Forest's heads going down, even though they suffered that early blow. Well, they're looking for a goal now from the likes of Tony Woodcock. It's Anderson through to Woodcock. McGovern playing it wide to Robertson. Could be interesting. Played there for McGovern. Well, that was a poor shot by McGovern. That was a better one, and it wasn't foul. It was a bad first shot that John McGovern played in, but he was a little fortunate one to find it coming back to him, but when he did, he really lashed the second one, but it was always just that little bit too high. Woodcock being policed there by O'Leary. Oh, between his legs. Oh, and O'Leary winning it well. That's a beautiful ball by O'Leary. Stapleton is free. Oh! Smacked it against Middleton, who couldn't get his hands to it, and MacDonald, the ball bobbling just as he was about to hit it, but the whistle had gone and Stapleton's gone down. But what a ball that was from David O'Leary. What a brilliant young player he is. Right into the path of Frank Stapleton, and from the edge of the box, Stapleton let fly. Middleton, it must have moved a bit in the air off Middleton's chest, and MacDonald made a real hash of the rebound. Clark. Young beating it in the air. Robertson coming in very quickly there, but Sammy Nelson now. Woodcock with the shot, and a good save by Pat Jennings. And O'Neill is in there, and Jennings diving to save his life and his goal again. And they very nearly gave a lot away there, Arsenal. It was a bad mistake there by Sammy Nelson, and Forest were on it like a flash. Jennings made a good save. Only half got it away, and as O'Neill came in on the far side, Jennings had to save a goal. Trevor Ross with the corner for Arsenal. Oh, it's in there! Stapleton's put another one in. Well, that was
a smiling Irishman from an impossible angle. The corner from Trevor Ross, nodded out by Nottingham Forest, and he must have been standing almost on the byline, Frank Stapleton, and he rocketed it past to Middleton for number 2. Well, Anderson did well to judge that long clearance from Pat Jennings, but here's Ricks for Arsenal. Nelson. Brady. Stapleton's on the ground. I don't know how he got there. And the linesman on this side flagging. He saw something that I didn't see, and the referee didn't see either, because it happened away off the ball. The linesman here with the yellow flag, Mr. Previtt of New Malden. Ron Chalice left with a decision to make. What's he going to do? The Arsenal players are pointing to the penalty box. They feel that if there was an infringement, it was inside the penalty area. He's having a word with Kenny Burns, and he's going to be booked, I think. A look of innocence on the face of Kenny Burns, but he did not, whatever it was, escape the eagle eye of the linesman with the yellow flag. So his name will go into the book. And the yellow card. Now what happens now? There's got to be a penalty. And it is a penalty. Well, a mysterious infringement, but a clear-cut decision. And a chance now for Arsenal to go 3-0 up. And Liam Brady, who's had a brilliant game, with a chance now of getting that 3rd Arsenal goal. And it's 3-0. Taken by the little Irishman with great confidence. Never a moment of doubt in his mind that he was going to score. And that's 3-0. Woodcock trying to come away from O'Leary this time. Kept control well. Kenny Burns. Howling played it just a little too close to Burns when he hoped to get O'Brady away, get to Liam Brady away. Robertson nicking it in there for Bowyer. Back again for Woodcock. Oh, and a tremendous piece of goalkeeping there by Pat Jennings. It was a lovely 1-2 though, mind you. And Tony Woodcock shaking his head in astonishment. A lovely 1-2 there, and it eventually reached Woodcock, staring straight at Pat Jennings. He volleyed at him, and somehow it hit Jennings on the body and went away to safety. And indeed it was a performance with few mistakes by Arsenal, but a lesson or two to be learned there by Nottingham Forest. And there were 1 or 2 unsavoury moments in the game, not least the incident involving the penalty and the yellow card for Kenny Burns. But there was an incident earlier that the referee and linesman did not spot, but the camera did. It happened during a line-up for a wall with Richie Powling and Kenny Burns behind him. It starts as a bit of a giggle as Kenny Burns tickles the Arsenal player. Liam Brady waits to take the kick. And you'll notice the Arsenal player there, Powling, just kicking back a little bit on Burns. That happens often enough in a penalty, in a wall. It doesn't make it right. But watch Kenny Burns now as this kick's about to be taken, butting Powling in the back of the neck. The referee didn't see it. If he had, he might have had something to say about it. But something that they did see was this penalty incident, or at least the linesman saw. Now watch the left-hand side of your screen as Frank Stapleton comes lunging there. Presumably there had been some contact from Kenny Burns from behind. We don't see that contact though, but the linesman did. He had his yellow flag raised and he wouldn't put it down until Ron Chalice, the referee, came over to him. And really it was a good piece of refereeing by Ron Chalice to give that penalty, taking the word of a linesman, working well together as a team. So the yellow card for Kenny Burns. And just look now at John McGovern, the Forest captain. He knows that Kenny Burns has let the side down and he's letting him know. And I think there might be a word or two from Brian Clough on that subject as well. Of course, it doesn't matter where the ball is, as long as it's in play. It's where the incident happens that matters, and Ron Chalice, of course, was 100% right to give Arsenal a penalty on that occasion. There were some good moments in the game as well, and this was a lovely Arsenal move. There's Liam Brady, the long crossfield ball. Young Ricks over his own head, spotting Sammy Nelson coming up. A ball played quickly down the line there for Richie Powling. And as the cross comes in,
A very good move from one end of the field to the other, full of artistry there. Alas, Arsenal couldn't quite do anything about it. It really wasn't quite as good a game, I think, as a lot of people hoped that it was going to be, but at least there were some good moments at Highbury yesterday, as well as some of the not so good, and I'm quite sure we haven't heard the last from Nottingham Forest, at any rate, about that Kenny Burns incident.